Hi, my name is Brian Horne. I am the acting real estate director within the real estate department at NKCDC. I've been with the organization a little over 3 years, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what real estate does, some of the projects that we've completed in the past, and just give you an idea of where we're headed in the future. So if you bear with me for a minute, I will share my screen and go through a little presentation that I put together to give you more of an idea of what we actually do. So as you've been learning, our service area is quite large within the city of Philadelphia. We started in 1985 down in Fishtown and then kind of expanded over the next couple of decades, moving further north into Kensington, Port Richmond, Harrogate, and those sorts of areas. Now, our real estate holdings have kind of reflected this sort of shift. You can see primarily in this map, which represents our real estate portfolio, that most of our holdings are below Lehigh Avenue. And then it's only within the last couple of years that we've expanded north of Lehigh. So to look at this map a little further, the green points on this are vacant land parcels that we have as part of our portfolio, which we have different plans for, either using them to provide affordable housing, selling them at market rate prices to developers, and then using those proceeds to fund other projects, or just keeping them as green space. And I'll talk a little bit more about each one of these different facets of our operations later on in the presentation. We do own 2 residential rental properties. These are actually mixed use buildings. Those are the 2 yellow points. So we have commercial space on the first floor and then residential rental above. These units are slightly below market rate in terms of pricing, but they're not, I wouldn't really consider them affordable. And one other thing I've included on this map is just an outline of the Awesome Town development, which we completed in 2016. This project was built on the former location of a paint factory, and it consisted of 14 new construction single-family homes. Now, 10 of those were sold at market rate, and the proceeds from the sale of those homes were used to fund and subsidize for additional homes which were sold to qualified income buyers. So as you're learning more about our strategic plan, you'll realize that real estate aligns with 2 different parts of our strategic plan, very much so. One is catalytic development, and the other is empowered communities. Now, in both of these areas, the real estate department works closely with our real estate development committee, some of the members who you might know already, and they kind of guide us in terms of what our priorities are going to be in the coming year and even beyond. So as far as catalytic development, let's kind of focus in on that a little bit more. Basically, we break this down into 4 different focus areas: mission-based development, market development, green space, and permanent holdings. As far as our mission-based development, we have completed 2 low-income housing tax credit projects. The first one we actually completed was in 2005, the Coral Street Arts House, and that's in the East Kensington neighborhood of our service area. And the second, more recently in 2017, was the Orinoco Civic House. The Low-Income Housing Tax Credit Program is a government-sponsored program where you receive credits that are based on the total project cost. Single-family affordable home ownership, as I mentioned, that was the project that we completed in Fishtown, the Awesome Town project, which you may hear referred to as Moyer Street. And then we also do mission-based development through mixed-use development, and that would be in collaboration with our economic development department. As far as market rate development, some of the parcels that I showed you in that map earlier, we will sell to developers who will build market rate homes on those or market rate development in terms of rentals. We use the proceeds from that sale to fund further affordable housing. Right now, we are undertaking a project called the East Kensington Scattered Site Project. On the left is a picture of one of the homes that's being constructed there. This is another way that we fund affordable housing, is by building market rate homes. This particular home is slated to be completed by December 1st of this year. And then again, the proceeds from the sale of this will be used to fund affordable housing projects in other parts of our service area. So we also have some green space. Some of those parcels are set aside as green space, and we really cultivate partnerships with residents and community groups to preserve it as such. The NKCDC garden is an example of such a green space. We have rentals there, and it is also home to our vacant land management crew. Some of our permanent holdings, these are our legacy properties, things that we're going to hold on to for the long term. Our old office space, this is where we started in 1985, 2513 and 2515 Frankfurt Avenue. These are slated to be renovated in the coming year to be updated commercial space on the first floor, and then affordable rental units on the second and third floors. Our other legacy properties consist of Orinoco Civic House and Coral Street Arts House. So as far as the empowered communities portion of our strategic plan, real estate kind of focuses in on that through resident services. So my colleague Renee Horst is our resident services coordinator, and she provides support services to a total of 81 tenant households, which consist of not only just our properties at Orinoco Civic House and Coral Street Arts House, but also includes those self-managed residential rental properties that I mentioned at 1870 Frankfurt and 2513 Frankfurt Avenue. So Renee manages a caseload of residents and their families. She also maintains partnerships with local resource referral agencies and plans community building social events, and also connects our residents with local civic groups and to further neighborhood involvement. Yep. So other things that she does is work with tenants to enhance resident capacity through housing stability, improved economic opportunities, personal well-being, and community connectedness. An example of community connectedness is on the right here. This is actually a cookie baking event that we have at Orinoco every year during the holidays, kind of bring residents together. People share the recipes for cookies, and then the kids get to decorate them and then take them home with them. Renee also works with other departments within the organization to offer financial capability coaching, home buyer education, counseling, leadership development, and technical services for our residents. She also helps manage an eviction prevention program and works closely with our property management team to identify risk factors and help tenants avoid this situation. And kind of another perk of her job is that at Coral Street Arts House, she has this sort of little resident artist community, and she creates events for them. And the picture on the right is actually a snapshot from event gallery opening that took place in fall 2018. Some accomplishments that we've done over the last couple of months: we began construction on 2 market rate homes as part of the scattered site project that I mentioned earlier. We completed a land sale with a local developer who committed to donating funds to the Philadelphia Housing Trust Fund. And in terms of resident services, we secured $168,000 in rental assistance for 32 cost burden tenant households in our portfolio. Goals for this year. So behind the Orinoco Civic House is a lot that we hope to build another tax credit project, the Ruth Street Civic House. So we will reapply for tax credits for that particular project in November. We'll continue to provide resources to our residents in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The 2 market rate homes as part of the East Kensington Scattered Site project, we will sell those and then use the funds to fund affordable housing projects in the phase 2 of that. We will complete renovation of our old office space into affordable rental units and leasable commercial space, and collaborate with our economic development department on an equitable development toolkit. So thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I look forward to working with each one of you. Should you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out to Renee or myself using the contact information I provided here. I'll just unshare my screen for a minute. Thank you again, and I look forward to working with you. Take care.